Hello, hello, Sir David the Bard again. I just came across another kind of interesting article. I've never been, well, I have been to the MTC in Provo. I used to drive bus and move missionaries all the time from the MTC till BYU bought its own bus system. And I've been in there. There's some nice people in there and the front desk and everything, but I've never been in the facility where the missionaries are velcroed to the wall to learn, another language. But anyway, I've got a link down below. You don't believe me, you always have to go to a link. But it's been discovered in the women's quarters of the MTC, all these young little girls that have no idea that they're going to a third world country. There's bats. Bats! Now, I've been to Carlsbad Caverns, okay? You want to see bats, you stay in Carlsbad Cavern area for the evening with the sunset. Millions of bats fly out of the cavern at night, and they eat insects. That's what they do. They can't see, but they got a hell of a radar unit, and in the morning they all fly back to the cave. Well, a couple of them, I guess, went on vacation to Provo. And they set up house in the women's dorm. Now, I don't know, if they peek over and watch the women get dressed. I don't know why they're in the women's dorm and not in the men's dorm. But anyway, one of these poor little missionary girls was sleeping, and a bat jumped her. Not a bat man, a bat. Bitter. Bitter. So now she's undergoing rabies treatment because we don't know if the bat had rabies. But in Utah, they say that most of the bats have rabies. And so she's undergoing, and I know that the old way of treating rabies, now I'm not sure if it's changed, but they used to have a needle 12 inches long, and they stuck it in the middle of your stomach. It was very, very crude and rude treatment. It did save lives, but I don't know if she called them and said, Mom and Dad, the Lord is not with me, the bats are with me. God dang. And I've always said the Mormons are a little batty, so maybe it's the male missionaries up there in the rafters. I don't know. I don't know. Now here's what I find comical. Okay, I've only been in the Philippines once or twice. In fact, I think I'm going to the Philippines this Friday. I shouldn't say that on my show because the Danites will put bombs on every plane going to the Philippines. We'll get the Bard. We'll get him. Well, in the Philippines, I wasn't used to some of the animals in a jungle. Snakes were everywhere. And I came down out of the bedroom one day, which, if you want to call it that, and I said to Mercy, we just gotten married, what is all that noise up in the attic? And there were boards up on the ceiling of this little shack house. And she says, oh, those are the rats. The rats! I thought I was in New York City. And my dad put the boards up there so they won't fall through and bite us. I go, God dang. That's scary. So I walked downstairs, and in the Philippines, there's no heaters. The temperature is basically always the same. And so the windows are always open. And in Mercy's parents' home, I walked downstairs, and the window was open, and it had a partial screen on it. And I see this iguana. I'm telling you, it was 2 feet long. I thought it was a dinosaur that came out of Jurassic Park. I was scared. I was scared. I didn't know how to herd, iguanas. So I said to Mercy's mom, there's an iguana right there on the windowsill. He comes in sometimes. And so she took a broom and broomed him out of the house. So she was used to that. Well, then I told you, this is on one of my other videos. Her father's a great man, and he's a very religious kind of a person. And there's a picture of Jesus on the wall in this house. And I was sitting talking to him one day, and I said, I've noticed you have a picture of Jesus, but he has no ear. I don't know where you buy a picture of Jesus with no ear. And her father was so comical. He said, well, the mouse ate it. I said the mouse was big enough to eat half of that ear, or that whole ear off that poster? Yes, yes. I said, oh, okay. And so, of course they don't have running water, and most of them in the Philippines, and so you go poo-poo in a hole. Well, what's to say a snake is not going to go in the hole and wait for you to hang your ass over and then bite you? And now, do you have rabies? How do you go to, which they don't have very many doctors, how do you go to a doctor and pull your pants down and look at my butt? He goes, no, not even for money, I'm not going to look at your butt. So anyway, I was shocked in the Philippines how much noise there is in a jungle. I thought a jungle would be silent. Now, above and beyond the drunks and the people lighting fireworks at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and the banjo music, and the Filipino people, they're happy people. It doesn't matter if the sun goes down, so you hear that a lot in the jungle there. But I heard all kinds of animals and brush moving, and I thought it was Jurassic Park. It was scary. Now, the other thing about the Philippines that I noticed was at night, when the sun starts to go down, every mosquito that doesn't live in the United States is living in the Philippines, and they don't have any health vaccinations. A lot of the mosquitoes in the Philippines carry malaria. Well, that doesn't happen in the United States very much. We get bit by mosquitoes sometimes, and I never got malaria. So I wanted to sit out there and enjoy the sunset, but everyone told me, you better come in. You'll have malaria. Well, then there's the water is poison to an American over there. You'll have diarrhea within a couple of hours, and it won't go away for a couple of days. You don't want to drink any Filipino water. Well, talk about Montezuma's revenge. It moved to the Philippines too. And so I had a lot of adjustment. We had a wedding party over there when we got married, and there were a lot of raw food and uncooked fish and clams and lobster and whatever. And I thought, hey, this is kind of like the United States. No, it's not. I hate that shit. And I had diarrhea for like 2 days on our honeymoon. Now, that's a real downer. When you're on a honeymoon and you're shitting everywhere and running to the shitter. And when I went to the CR, they call it, the comfort room. See, we call it a rest room, and they polluted the word rest to comfort, CR, a comfort room. So I went over into the comfort room there, and I looked around, and there's no toilet paper. In the Philippines, there's no toilet paper. And so you have to take a Book of Mormon and just tear pages out of it and use it. My wife said that some of the times that they give a Book of Mormon out there, when she was on her mission, they used it for toilet paper. Well, there's no toilet paper, but there's this big bucket of water beside the toilet, and then there's this little tiny pan, a dipper. And so I guess you take a crap, and then you pour the dipper on your butt. And, well, an American, we can't reach our butts. Now, the Filipinos are tiny little people. They can reach their butts very easily. So I'm trying to, hose off the mess. It didn't work. So then I had to take off my underwear. And I said, it's had a good life. It's lived a good life. It's time for Mr. Underwear to clean the bars. So I had to clean my butt with the underwear. And the underwear, he's just laying over to the side going, holy shit! So he couldn't do the whole job. It was too big for him. So now I'm taking my socks off. And taking my socks, getting the shit off of me. I love the Philippines. I love the Filipino people. They are the happiest group and the most family-oriented, gentle people. They won't pick up a gun and defend themselves. They'll love you to death. They'll love you to death. So what I'm saying is this girl in the mission training, she's supposed to be training to go to a third world country. So a bat biting her ain't a big deal. An iguana chasing her, a mouse eating the walls, rats in the ceiling, snakes everywhere, and you gotta run from the mosquitoes because you'll get malaria. Now, I don't know what dengue fever is, but I don't think it's pleasant. So the Filipino people to migrate to the United States, they have to get a dengue fever vaccination so that doesn't come into our country. Every Filipino that I've ever met or seen or know about has been exposed to TB. TB is a big thing in the Philippines. Here in the United States, it doesn't even exist anymore. We vaccinated that away. Well, anyway, when they've been exposed to TB and they get a physical, they have to test them. Do they have TB or have they only been exposed? If they've only been exposed, they're welcome to come to the United States. If they have TB, they have to go through treatment and then be certified that it's been healed, and then they're able to immigrate if they're worthy, if they meet the standards of immigration. So anyway, a little bite, had a little rabies. That ain't no big shit for a missionary. But they try to pretend, you know, that the language training where they have running water and you can take a shower, you can find Kotex, and you can get toothpaste, that in Ecuador you're going to be treated the same. No way. These poor missionaries, I visited, I told you on another video, my friend Larry Young, he was called on a mission to Nova Scotia. And I thought, hell, I'll just go up and see him. Jesus. I drove from California to Nova Scotia, Canada, and I couldn't find the missionaries anywhere, so I went to the police and I said, are there Mormon missionaries here? Oh yeah, they're over there in an apartment, nothing. So I go over and I climb up the steps to go in there, and I mean, it was a dungeon. It was upstairs, it wasn't downstairs, it was a dungeon upstairs. And so I knock on the door, and here comes my friend Larry Young in his garments, his hair all messed up. It looked like shit. I said, what happened to you? He says, I'm on a mission. I said, good Lord. I said, I am so blessed that I didn't go. And he said, well, I got to get some breakfast. You want to come in and get breakfast? I said, sure. He had oatmeal in water. No milk, just oatmeal. I couldn't even eat it. I couldn't even eat it, oatmeal and water. And I said, you know, you're preaching the gospel. And he goes, yes, I am. I said, okay. I'm going back to the United States. Homie, don't roll this way. So anyway, I've had some contact. My friend, Al Petrich, went to the Philippines on his mission. And he was the president, not mission president, he was the zone leader. And my friend, Bill Jackson, MD, Dr. Jackson, was the mission president in the Philippines, and my friend, Al Petrich, was his right-hand man, and Al would write the... Monson is always trying to get me. Monson's always trying to get me. They just don't give up. They don't give up. Hello, is this President Monson?
You on the video?
I'm on the video, sir. I am not coming back to the Mormon Church. Could you call me back in 5 minutes?
Sure will.
Okay, thanks, bye. So anyway, a bite bat, or a bat bite, that ain't no big deal. My poor little wife, she served a mission in the Philippines, and she's told me stories of how hard that is. You know, now a Filipino does pretty well in a Filipino mission because they're used to mice and iguanas and snakes chasing them. My wife has the funniest stories about monkey attacks. I've never been attacked by a damn monkey. She is so funny that she's just walking along innocently, and a monkey jumps on her chest and holds on for dear life. She's trying to knock the monkey off. I only heard one monkey joke for the first 8 years, and then just last couple of nights, she has a second monkey attack. So, a bat bite ain't shit. The church is making a big thing of it. They should throw iguanas and snakes and other wild animals into that mission training center and let those kids really know what's going to happen to them. So anyway, look at the link down below. I find it kind of comical. You may not. You decide for yourself. This bar is gone.